Thank you, Adrian. Yes, let's get a feel here for how things are looking ahead of these crucial votes. I'm joined here by Chris Davies for the Conservatives, Stephen Kinnock for Labour. Thank you both for joining me. Chris, how difficult a week is this going to be for Theresa May?
Well, every week is an interesting week up here in Westminster. I think having just been at the 1922 committee, I'm looking forward to the next couple of days because I think positivity is going to be the name of the game.
But the party has been pretty divided on this, hasn't it?
Well, I think the whole of Parliament's been pretty divided. The country was divided on it, but I think most people are now realising that what we're having tomorrow and on Wednesday is the EU withdrawal bill. This makes sure that when we leave on the 30th of March 2019, all the laws continue. People carry on their daily work as they have been doing up until now, and it also is there to secure a good mandate for Great Britain. So it's a very important bill and it's positive.
And Stephen, what about Labour? There are pretty significant divisions within your party too.
There have been some divisions over the issue of the European Economic Area. Many of us, myself included, feel that it's the only realistic, sensible option. It reflects a narrow vote for leave. So yes, we leave the European Union, respect to the democratic result, but we do so in a way that doesn't destroy the thousands of jobs and livelihoods of the people that we were elected to represent. And the EEA does do that, and also does have controls in there on free movement of labour within articles of the EEA agreement. So it strikes the right balance between sovereignty and prosperity.
But that's not Jeremy Corbyn's position. Will you then rebel against your party leadership on this?
I will be voting for the EEA amendment. I understand we'll be whipped to abstain. So yes, unfortunately, it's not a decision that I take lightly at all, but I've been talking for the last 18 months about this being the most realistic, sensible and pragmatic approach, particularly given the level of chaos and confusion and incompetence that we've seen from the government. It's left a vacuum. If we leave that vacuum, the likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg will fill it. So Labour has to do its duty, take responsibility and make sure that we do the right thing in Parliament over the next 2 days.
Yeah, Chris, are we any nearer now than 2 years ago to understand what Brexit actually means?
Almost definitely. Brexit means that we are leaving the EU. It's quite simple. It's not a small and a short Brexit. It's not a fat and a thin Brexit. It's not a hard and a soft Brexit. It's Brexit. And Brexit is happening, as the Prime Minister stated quite clearly. So what that means is we are leaving the EU.
But the point, though, isn't it? What kind of relationship do we have after we leave? And where are we at here? Because this has been heavily discussed, hasn't it? But we don't really know any concrete positions from the government.
You say it's heavily been discussed. Of course it has. We're right in the middle of negotiations, and these negotiations will stop right at the end date. And clearly things, from what I'm understanding, are looking very good. We aren't in that great division that you're already hearing from Labour. We are united as a party. We have the odd rebel.
We have the odd ones who are rebelling.
We have the odd ones who are rebelling, and we may have that tomorrow. We may have that tomorrow. I think we'll see collective responsibility tomorrow and over the next day, and we will have a united front from the Conservative Party.
What about the discussions around a meaningful vote for Parliament? If Parliament votes to reject the Brexit deal, then what should happen to the UK, do you think?
Well, I think it would be a disaster for the UK. I really do. So quite clearly, there will be a meaningful vote, and I hope all parties will support the government.
But do we stay in, for example, if Parliament says no?
I think that would be a disaster. We can't. We literally can't.
So then what happens? We simply leave on World Trade Organization rules?
We will, and nobody wants to do that. We are going to have the best deal that we possibly can. This is why over the next 2 days it's very important that the whole of Parliament, the whole of the UK shows that they're right behind these negotiations, and when our team meet Brussels and our EU representatives over there, we are united.
What about that, Stephen? What the EU must be thinking, what's going on here? Surely Labour should be supporting here Brexit, putting a brave face on it for the EU.
Well, as you rightly identified, though, nobody's defined what that means. The Prime Minister has said she wants us to come out of the single market and out of the customs union, out of the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice, but also wants no infrastructure, no border in Northern Ireland. Those two objectives are completely incompatible. So I'm afraid we've had a mishmash of a position from the government, an utter lack of leadership, and as a result of that lack of clarity, we are in a position now where we have to.
But we
there's
haven't
only
had
one
that
option that
clarity
works.
from Labour either, have we?
Well, we have set out the European Economic Area plus a customs union as the option that will solve Northern Ireland, that will not wreck jobs when we leave, but does mean leave the EU. Yes, we leave the EU, but it's a common market option rather than the political institutions. And for reasons that I'm still struggling to understand, our government and indeed our front bench are not signing up up to
There
that.
we are. Thank you very much, both. There